What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode today of the My Player Career Mode. We're into episode number 26 today. And just quickly before we get into today's episode, actually, there was no videos the last couple of days. Reason for that is I've been away, actually, working in my parents' business, helping them out. So I wasn't around to actually make the videos. And in terms of the videos for this week, I don't know what the schedule is going to look like. I'm going to try and get a daily video out for you guys every single day at least. I don't know if there'll be double uploads or anything, guys. Basically, to cut a long story short, my mum was ill last week, and of course that means that she couldn't work in the business, and so I had to go up there and help them out a little bit. But everything's okay now, but I know for sure the next couple of days might be hit and miss. I may get, kind of called in, or on the other side of that is I might be having to go up there and do some other stuff. Of course, meaning I'm away from my Xbox for the next couple of days or something. So for now, it's just playing it by ear and trying to work out when I'll have time to be able to make the videos for you all. So here's today's video anyways, back into a My Player Career Mode, and then hopefully we'll have another one from tomorrow. And maybe we'll get back to double uploads the rest of this week. So thank you for your continued support. Anyway, guys, I understand, of course, it can be annoying when you're so used to seeing me upload daily that I don't upload at all. But I hope you guys understand why and stuff. But anyways, let's get started with today's episode then. And also, thank you for 15k subs. I really appreciate that. Didn't expect to hit it. And, of course, we now are on 15,000 of you guys who watch these videos on a regular basis. That's crazy amount of numbers. But anyways, so 4 games to come today for Ben, and we'll see if he can improve on his already great start to life in Spurs. I calculated yesterday, or when I recorded this anyway, guys, that he's actually been part of 25 goals in 28 games so far in all competitions this year, and that's including international games as well, which is it's mind-blowing, because he's come from Championship football last year to then participating in the Premier League and internationals, and having that goal contribution a game is just mind-blowing. But anyways, so kickstarting it off, we've got the game against Chelsea to come here, and Spurs named a very, very strong team. You can see 4-2-3-1 again. Ben and Harry Kane, I guess, leading the line for the Spurs lineup there. Another 5 at the back, though, from Chelsea, and they are actually the top, leader of the Premier League currently. Spurs sat in second, so this is first versus second at this stage now, and it's I don't want to say an early title decider, but certainly, whoever wins this does have the sole position of first. So that is going to be the bragging rights, I guess. And 26 minutes in, that's when the first chance appeared. Ben with it on that right foot, not really is a stronger of the 2 feet, but still he forced Courtois into a good enough save there to stop him from opening up the scoring. David Luiz actually was very close to blocking the shot, to his credit, but it still went through, and Luiz was equal to it and pushed it past the post. And then later on in the second half, a minute to go from full time, guys, Harry Kane tested the palms of Courtois again, and for the second time in the match, he was equal to it as well. So it's a disappointing 0-0 draw to kickstart the episode off with. You can see we end up with a corner, but nothing happened to this one. It's literally as soon as the corner's whipped in, it eventually finds its way to Ben somehow, and he puts a chance wide is what happens in a moment, but it was never really going to go in the back of the net, to be fair. And I just don't know quite whether or not Chelsea were playing for that point. There's situations when you look at football and you say some managers go to certain grounds and play for the point. That's what I kind of got from Chelsea and Conte here. I was kind of feeling that maybe they'd come to Wembley with the ambition of only getting a point out of the game. So I don't know if they're going to be satisfied with that point. I certainly wasn't, and I'm sure Ben isn't after that game there for Spurs, but will Chelsea be satisfied with that point? Of course, it keeps them top of the Premier League table, so for now, more than satisfied. But of course, there is still Manchester United to play their game and potentially to take that top spot off of them. So, yeah, as I said, Chelsea, if you look at the match facts, they pretty much came here to try and earn themselves a point. And United did win their game against Everton, which I do believe now means that Manchester United are now top, with Chelsea in second, Spurs in third. But there are a minute amount of points within each other. So, yeah, in terms of that one, you can't even really say it's anybody's title right now. There's so many options of who can win this title that I'm not even going to call it yet. I'm not even going to try and say whether or not I think Ben and Spurs have it in them. I'm not going to say if I think it's going to be Chelsea's year. I just don't want to try and predict it, because right now it would be too hard to do. And now we move from one awesome game that didn't really turn out that awesome into the next one, the North London Derby. The first time we're playing this in the Premier League. We have actually had one other North London Derby in the series, which of course was in the Cup at Wembley. This time around, Ben is travelling to the Emirates, where the atmosphere is going to be even worse for him. Actually, I said that. I think Chelsea are actually still top going into this one. So, yeah, I don't know if they've played an extra game, though. That could be it if they have done. I don't know. But for sure, this is a must-win game for Spurs. You know, they want to keep up the pressure on the other teams, and it is a 5 at the back from Arsenal, much like the Chelsea one, although this is a home game for them, so I can't see them playing for the draw in this one. And Wenger, I can't imagine that's the outcome or what they're going for in this one. So the game here is about to get underway. It is Arsenal taking on Spurs at the Emirates. Ben's going to experience his first away North London derby. I'm sure the fans are going to get right on his back if that is going to be the case here. And 20 minutes in, Arsenal controlled the possession in the early parts of the game, but they gave it away cheaply there, straight to Ben, and his strike is agonizingly wide of that post. It was very, very nearly in the back of the net, that one, and it could have quite easily found its way to the back of the net, and he would have been 1-0 had it have done so. So, yeah, I mean, Ospina, not the greatest goalkeeper. If you're an Arsenal fan, you don't really want to see him as the long-term goalkeeper, and I'm sure a few Arsenal fans may be thinking that was going to wrestle in the back of the net. But 58 minutes in, second half began. Ben picks the pocket of Aaron Ramsey. He eventually gets it back here, feeds it to Christian Eriksen. Lovely 1-2 with the Danish playmaker. Gets it back off him. Could have shot, but chose instead to dink a lovely, delightful little chip across the face of the goal towards Heung-min Son at the back post. And he nods the away side into the lead. What a play that was by the Spurs boys. You have to admit, as much as I don't want to, of course, being an Arsenal fan, but regardless of Ben, I'm pretty happy for him. You have to admit, that was a very, very nice goal. And I hold my hands up and say that is absolutely spectacular. Nice passing play. And then Ben, the composure he shows and the quality he's got, you expected him to maybe just lash a strike with his right foot. Instead, he just dinks that towards the back post, says, there you go, Son, get your nugget on that one, son. And he ends up making the score 1-0. So Arsenal, with it all to do, can they get themselves back on level terms at home in this one? I'm sure the fans will be cheering them on in this North London derby. It is a passionate pride at stake here for both sets of fans, but sadly for Arsenal, but good enough for Spurs, they did end up with the 1-0 win. So Ben's assist making the difference in the game. Son will get the plaudits for the goal, but he has to give major credit over to Ben for setting him up with that one. It was a very difficult chance to create, and he created it so well. So the Spurs boys celebrating on the pitch at the Emirates. I'm sure the fans at that stage would have been giving him all sorts of grief, and I'm surprised to see them still be out there, to be honest with you, as some of the Arsenal boys reluctantly shaking the hands of the Spurs players, and after full time, Spurs come out as winners. So that's now 2 North London derbies that Ben has participated in, and he's got 2 victories from them. The first one was a convincing 3-0 win. This one was only a 1-0 win. But again, I looked at the match facts after this one, and I looked at it, and I was like, much like the Chelsea game, Arsenal just didn't really go forward. Do you know what I mean? Like, they didn't really showcase anything going forward that made me think that they possibly could have even got anything out of that game. So maybe they were playing for a draw. Maybe that is something that Wenger was trying to get there. I don't know, but it was disappointing to see nonetheless. And as we move forward now into the next game for Ben and Spurs, it is going to be this one against Stoke City here, and that is the team on the screen that we have, in fact, got for Spurs. It's a very strong one again. There's so many players that can come in this Spurs team. Squad depth-wise, we're looking pretty good. I think this is going to be a good season to see whether or not they can match the ambition of Chelsea in trying to win the league, and whether or not they have the quality to take it all the way. Can Spurs lift a league title in Ben's first season? That's my question of today. Do you think that Spurs have what it takes in order to see this season through and come out as champions at the end of it? After 16 league games have been played, they are 1 point behind the leaders, Chelsea. That's my question for you guys. Also, if you feel like it, leave me a prediction, what you reckon, guys, in the comments section below regarding who you think may win the championship. If not, Spurs. Like, who do you think is going to be? Chelsea, Man United, Man City? Have Arsenal got what it takes, even though probably not? Or will Spurs be the team to take it? Let me know down below in the comments. But regardless, let's get this third game underway. Stoke City with the kickoff. Live from Wembley Stadium as they kick it backwards here, actually. It's a weird setup from Stoke. They didn't play, I don't believe, that much of a defensive formation. I was expecting this to be quite a tough game. Stoke are a bogey side for a lot of teams, especially my team in real life, Arsenal, of course. There's a few times Stoke have defeated us. And the game started off to an absolute flyer. Stoke just did not wake up, and immediately, 4 minutes into it, they found themselves a goal down. It was Ben feeding the pass, I do believe, out wide to the right. The pass then went through to Harry Kane. Ben continued his run forward. He gets in behind and dinks a right-footed cross towards the middle, and Fabinho is there to head home and make the score 1-0 to the home side. So immediately into this game, and Spurs have already taken the lead. What a flying start that one is. Jack Butland could honestly do nothing about it. He's a great goalkeeper, but Fabinho's simply just too close to the goal, and if he'd have missed that, you would have had to be saying maybe should have been taken off, because that was quite an easy chance for him to take. But credit to Ben again, another great assist for him, and that is now 2 assists in the episode today for him. But it wasn't all plain sailing for Ben, because he had a little bit of a tiff with one of the Stoke City players. You can see here, he picks up the ball in the middle of the park, and there's Martins Indy coming across him, taking him out there, and the referee didn't give anything, and Ben was not happy about that, let me tell you that one little bit. So as the second half kicked off, Ben again on this left-hand side looks to whip another cross towards the middle like he did for the first one. This time it is Sissoko who nods home from the cross. But take a look at what Ben actually does during this celebration, guys. Of course, he had that little tiff with Martins Indy, wasn't happy with the defender after it happened. So he makes a point of going over and celebrating in front of Martins Indy when this goal goes in. Now, if the referee had seen it, maybe he would have ended up with a booking or even a red card, because it's unsportsmanlike, isn't it, really? But take a look. I'll show you it in a minute in the instant replay. If you watch what happens, as soon as he whips the cross in now, he runs all the way to the middle where Martins Indy is, and he ends up with the little celebration where he puts his hand to his ear as if to say, what you're saying now. You see what I mean? Look, he's running towards Martins Indy as the rest of the boys are running past him. You can see there is a celebration asking Martins Indy to keep chatting as if to say, You took me out in the first game. I'm not happy with that. And there you go. It's 2-0 now, so you're suffering for it. Celebrates right in front of him. Luckily, Martins Indy had his back turned to the Spurs man. Otherwise, he may have reacted to that one, and Ben could have ended up with a punch to the face. Who knows? But, yeah, it was a bit of a hot head from Ben, if you will. So I'm assuming he's going to get past that, I suppose. But we'll have to see if EA is going to develop somewhat of an attitude in these next recent weeks, because he wasn't happy with the challenge, and he made sure that people knew he wasn't happy by celebrating in front of Martins Indy, which, as I said, luckily the Stoke defender didn't see him do that. Otherwise, it could have been worse for the Englishman. And he was taken off by Pochettino, and his replacement was Eriksson. And it's typical Eriksson, isn't it? He goes through and hits a left-footed shot past the goalkeeper, Jack Butland, and it is Spurs 3, Stoke City 0, 10 minutes from time here. 2 assists from Ben. Eriksson with the other one after he came on to replace him. And I'm sure that even if with the Martins Indy incident that Ben had, he will still be happy with the 3 points on the board. Nothing's been said about it afterwards of the game. They know I don't believe there was anything in between after this when they shook hands with each other. I don't think there was anything else after it, but even so, it was weird to see Ben, who's normally so calm and normally so composed, reacting to Martins Indy the way he did after, celebrating after getting that assist by running towards him rather than running with his team. So I was pleasantly surprised, to say the least, from Ben. So I'm hoping it's not going to be something he starts to develop in an attitude. So we'll see. But 3 points on the board again for Spurs. It is now at 7 points out of 9. It is only the game against Chelsea where they did drop points. And for Butland, poor day at the office. Not quite his fault, though, to be fair, because I don't know what he could have done against the goals. So there is that as well. So Eriksson got I guess a cameo appearance, but he got a goal, so it doesn't matter. He's done what he wanted to do and getting on the pitch to be able to do that. So there you go. Spurs, a victory here, and it is obviously nice to have as well. But I suppose the way I'm looking at this now is that, Ben, the reaction he had to Martins Indy, maybe that's overshadowing the victory for me. We'll see. But he got an 8.4 match rating anyways, guys. So he did what he needed to do. He's also 88 rated now. So he's one of the best players in the world at this stage, technically, on form and on rating. Of course, he can go down, he can dip in form and stuff. We'll see if that's going to be the case in a future episode. But again, Stoke didn't really threaten. And I don't know if that's because Spurs as a team are just so good defensively. Of course, over the recent years, Spurs have had a great defensive record in the league, and they've been one of the better defensive teams in the league itself. So maybe that is the case. But even so, they didn't really threaten at all. So for the last game, I bumped up to legendary difficulty to see if that would make it a difference here, guys. You can see I go and do that now against Reading. But whether or not that's actually going to work, because it is Reading, which of course no disrespect to them, but being a newly promoted side, you would expect Spurs, the way they're playing, to be able to basically get themselves a victory here. Also, I forgot to mention, right at the start of the video, we simmed the last game against Nice in the Europa League, because we were already through as champions on points, so Ben wasn't picked for it. So we simmed that one, and we did win it. So we were through regardless, and obviously a victory means for momentum moving forward that we're looking pretty good. Now, in terms of the team that's going to come next, The Europa League draw hasn't been done, or it was done, but of course I forgot to show you it, and it is quite a way in the distance. I think it's about a month and a half away. So I will remember to show you who Spurs have pulled in the Europa League probably next episode, if not certainly the episode after that for you all. So next game coming up, the final game of today's episode, it is Reading away from home. Again, same formation, pretty much the same team that Pochettino has been naming for himself, and it should be a cracker here as well. So as we got a game underway, it was time to see who could come out as the winners in today's episode in the final game, if there was going to be one. But 28 minutes in, good work from Ben, nice cross as well, and it is Harry Kane who should have scored, and it this time comes off the top of the crossbar. I mean, major credit to Ben. He's obviously been working on something in the training ground, because his right-footed crossing has been absolutely brilliant in today's episode. So I think he's been working hard in the training in order to improve his crossing. And 34 minutes in, Reading got a chance. It was a rare chance because you're not used to seeing it. Normally Spurs are dominating these games, but Reading did actually get themselves a chance there. And on the stroke of half-time, Ben picks the ball up here. He's got 4 Reading defenders around him. None of them really commit themselves. He just runs straight through the left-hand side, and the keeper may have been expecting Ben to possibly square that, because he has been doing that recently. You know, there wasn't a time when he was shooting from those kind of angles. Normally he would be crossing that. So maybe, just maybe, that is what has caught Vito Manone out there. That's possibly what it was. I mean, I don't really know how this went in, because I think the keeper should save this, but as I said, maybe he's expecting Ben to square that, and that's why he didn't react as quick as he did when the initial shot comes in. It's very close to the goalkeeper, but he doesn't make the save. So Spurs do lead the game by 1-0 here. And as you see, if you saw it previously just a minute ago, Ben is currently on a yellow card. So again, he's got another card. Maybe he is getting an attitude here, guys. I'm hoping he doesn't, because, of course, one of the best things about Ben was that he got his head down and he did the work he needed to do. If he starts getting involved in stupid stuff, it's not going to be good for him in his future. As whips across in towards the middle now in the second half, looking to try and find another headed goal there for the assist. Unfortunately, couldn't find it, but 67 minutes in, eventually the ball falls back to him. He fades the pass into Eriksen, and that is just spectacular. What a finish. What a finish from Christian Eriksen. And this is my problem, guys. Pochettino right now has a headache, because he's got Ben, who's playing unbelievably well, but if Eriksen is able to do that and has got the quality to do that, maybe, you know, Eriksen should be starting these games, or maybe he should be starting on the right, and then you just play Ben up in the middle, because these two, when they are on the pitch, are just sensational. Look at that from Eriksen. That is a 1 in a million finish. You don't really get that a lot, especially when you consider, obviously Eriksen has like a 5-star weak foot. A lot of players wouldn't have been able to do that. So Eriksen, world class finish, makes the score 2-0. And you can see Ben there. I don't know what he's thinking, trying to win that ball off the goalkeeper. He ends up trying to get back here. No reason to make that tackle whatsoever. It's a stupid tackle to make. I don't know what is going through his mind there. He was already on a yellow card. Whether or not he forgot he was on the yellow card, because he got the yellow very early on. It was a definite red. The referee had no other choice than to do that. I mean, we'll have to see. Maybe Ben will give a comment on that in the next episode as to what he was thinking with that challenge. But he's been sent off. It's his first red card of his career, guys. It was a stupid tackle to make. I don't particularly know what on earth he's thinking with that one. Maybe he just got a little bit ahead of himself and wanted to prove a point that he can do his defensive duties as well. But he just didn't need to make the tackle. It was 90 minutes in. It was 2-0. Spurs were home and dry. I just don't get why you would make that tackle the way you did. So regardless, it is a sending off, even after a great performance for himself, a goal and an assist. He ends it off with a red card. So maybe, as I said, he's losing his head a little bit. Maybe he's getting involved and he's got a bit of a hot head incident. So the incident with Martins Indy, the red card, it's a bad way to end today's episode off. Otherwise, it was a very good one. And hopefully you've enjoyed it, guys. If you did, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. There is another video out at 4 p.m. tomorrow, guys. So hopefully I'll see you, as many of you there for that video tomorrow. I'll catch you all then. Adios.